Do you wish that you could be free from your past? Free from all the awful things that other people have done to you? You can be. To see how, check out this video. Hi, I'm Paul. On our Sakaso YouTube channel, we're publishing new content all the time to help you find your way, heal, and get more life out of life. So be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss anything. People do some messed up stuff, and it hurts. So now what do? Well, what I tried to do was to make sense of it. Or sometimes I just felt sorry for myself. It's not wrong to try to make sense of it, but there's limits, and I tried too hard. And I made an even bigger mistake. I created a story out of my life story, a story I would tell to myself. And I would say to myself, I've been wronged. I would cast the other person as the villain. I would say, he's such an asshole, or she's such a bitch. I would cast myself as the victim and the other person as the villain. By giving myself a role in that story, I'm by definition identifying with it. And I would tell that story to myself over and over again. And I would ask, why? How does this make any sense? Why did they do that to me? And before I knew it, I had built up some deep-seated anger. Why did I hold on to those feelings? Every time I told myself that story, I just felt awful. I would tell myself, I could have been happy except this happened, or I could have made it except that happened. Every time I told myself those stories, I would feel sad, angry, victimized, helpless. I held on to those feelings because I got to feel like I was in the right and they were in the wrong. I got satisfaction and pleasure by being the victim of injustice. My ego was satisfied. And it goes even further. I deluded myself into thinking that my anger and my resentment was somehow payback. How is it payback? They either didn't know or they didn't care about my anger and my resentment, any of that stuff. None of that did anything to even the score, let alone serve any kind of justice. And I thought that those people didn't deserve my forgiveness. How could they? They did such terrible things to me. Why should I do something for them? I thought that by forgiving them, I was somehow doing them a huge favor, that I was somehow letting them off the hook. But given what I just said, that actually makes no sense at all. It's natural to think that if we forgive, that we're going to be letting them off the hook, that they're going to be getting away with it. But are they? We all have to meet our Maker sometime. Our lives are very, very short. And just as Gandhi said, an eye for an eye only makes the whole world blind. So anything like that just doesn't make any sense either. But then I was reading this little book that inspired me when it talked about forgiveness. So I decided to give it a try anyway. And I discovered then this little secret. I discovered that when you forgive, oh my God, you feel so free. I just felt so light and so happy. And I discovered that it makes no difference to the people you're forgiving, but it makes an enormous difference to you. And there's another little thing that I discovered. The little book I was reading is called The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment by Thaddeus Golas. In this book, he says, how much compassion and forgiveness do you want for yourself? Give it to others. Go to the extreme. Forgive all beings for their karmic debts to you. Grant to others the freedom, the love, the consciousness that you want for yourself. I was inspired by this, so I went all out. When I stopped being miserly with my forgiveness, when I stopped deluding myself into thinking there was somehow a shortage of forgiveness, and believing all that garbage about how they didn't deserve it, it changed everything. I suddenly found myself being freed from that awful, painful place that I was stuck in for so long. It was amazing. If you've listened to this video up to this point, then you're ready for this exercise. Pause the video just long enough so you can grab a pen and paper. Write down your answers to these questions. Question 1. Be honest. What do you gain by retelling that story over and over where you are the victim and they are the villain? Question 2. What do you gain by holding on to those feelings? Sadness, anger, resentment. Is the score being settled? Is justice being served? Are you stopping them from getting away with it? Question 3. By holding on to the past and holding on to this story, what has this cost you? And question 4. What might you gain by letting it all go? Question 5. Look at your answers to the other questions and look inside your heart. And then ask yourself, do you want to keep this anger and resentment in you? Or do you want to let it all go? If the answer is that you want to keep it, that's okay. You can come back to this at another time. But if you feel like it's time for a change, then let's go for it. Forgive. Yes. Forgive. If you're still scarred by your past, then it's time to heal. If the way you've done things so far hasn't worked, then why not try something different? If holding on to past pain, sadness, resentment, anger hasn't led to justice being served, then why not try something different and let it go? And don't just forgive a little. Challenge yourself. If being the victim has not worked for you, if being miserly with your forgiveness has not worked for you, then try something else. Open up your heart and discover the wealth of love that you have inside you. Forgive completely. Let it all go. Close your eyes and take a couple of deep breaths. Forgiveness is a sacred act. Now, you can take that paper and just crumple it up and throw it away. Or burn it. So what was it like when you forgave? You can let us know in the comments below, or you can reach out to us through our website at sakaso.ca and send us an email. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share. And if you want to see more videos on how to find your way, heal, and get more life out of life, then be sure to subscribe to our Sakaso YouTube channel. And we'll see you soon.